the loss of parental consent in this whole discussion, where it's parents who should decide whether children have a vax or not. You know, that's all gone now, according to the government and everybody else. Children can decide on the basis of a TikTok video. No.
But I think we have to understand that where children stop and young people begin. I mean, you know, it was many, many years ago that Victoria Gillick said that her children shouldn't ever be given contraception because she didn't like it. And the courts found against her. And this is the same. This is exactly the same. If you have a 16, 17, 18-year-old, they can make up their minds.
No, we're talking about 12 to 15-year-olds now getting these vaccines, aren't we? A 12-year-old. See, I mean, again, this is one of those topics that I could talk about all day, but I personally think that it was absolutely wrong to have done a mass rollout of this vaccine to children as young as 12. I think it was wholly unnecessary, simply because you do not know the long-term effects. You don't know how many vaccines these kids are going to need over what period of time and what the longer-term effects are going to be. So for me, I worry. I think, James, the point you raised as well about where does the parent line start and stop, and then where does the child's consent line start and stop? And I get your point, but I think, for me personally, I feel like we're on a bit of a slippery slope here. I do.
But I mean, I certainly think that that in some families, and I know them where you've got adults shielding, they are desperate to have their children vaccinated, right? So I mean, I think it's one of those things where you need to think very hard about it, and I agree that a mass rollout does seem slightly over the top down to 9-year-olds.
Well, you're very polite. It's 12 to 15-year-olds, isn't it?
No, but they're taking it. I mean, obviously they're taking it down. But I actually think that for quite a lot of 12 to 15-year-olds, that they would make the families feel a lot happier.
Look, we live in a country, if I may
very briefly, because I've got another very interesting story that I want to come on to as well. So if you're very brief, you can, but if not...
We live in a country where the Tavistock Clinic and mermaids believe that a 4-year-old child can determine their future sexuality. That's the big issue that we're faced with here. And a lot of people are going to say no to that. The Labour Party would endorse it. Parents will not endorse it.
They wouldn't. Just don't do this one, right? Absolutely not. And I mean, when you say a 4-year-old, actually, it happens very seldom, and the Labour Party is certainly not behind saying that if a 4-year-old wants to change sex, then they have every right to do whether their parents say it or not.
Show me the evidence.
Well, show me the evidence that the Labour Party has ever been in favour of it.
They completely indulge that point of view, just as you did.
I did not.
You did.
This is absolute rubbish. And it's this sort of thing that actually ends up sort of making... I mean, this is like social media gone mad. Is you say something that is absolutely untrue, and then when I say it's untrue, I have to prove it. It said, since when...
Why did Keir Starmer dissemble when the question was asked of him by Andrew Marr, which... Jews rightly referred to. He dissembled. He couldn't actually say that men are men and women are women. Once you take that point of view, you're going to concede to the Tavistock gender altering.
No, you're not. There is an enormous difference of saying that there are people who feel that they're absolutely in the wrong body and they want to change sex, to saying that we think that 4-year-olds should decide on their sexuality.
Well, where's the difference being spelt out by Lisa Nandy or anybody else? Show me the evidence.
No. You show me any Labour Party person who is saying he did not talk about 4-year-olds. What he said was that people who believe themselves to be in the wrong body have a right to change. I mean,
I'm not contesting that.
Right,
but I draw the line at 4-year-olds, and he does not.
Oh, this is absolute rubbish. He wasn't even asked about 4-year-olds.
Yeah, but he could have said, couldn't he?
No.
I said.
No.
He didn't offer a remark on it. He could have said, I draw the line at the Tavistock Clinic and 4-year-olds.
No,
he didn't say that.
Because we were not talking about either 4-year-olds or the Tavistock Clinic.
We are talking about parental consent, and that's the important issue here.
And I am here telling you that what you're saying is just absolutely untrue.
It's a powerful argument.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.